Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to His Holiness Candramauli Maharaj's daily class. Thank you all for coming. We are continuing our reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, verse number 54. And this chapter is entitled Dhritarashtra Quits Home for the Forest. I think you all are aware that Dhritarashtra has now left Yudhishthir's home, the palace, and is now in meditation in the forest. So that description is going on. So we will, I hope everyone can see the screen and the verse. We will begin with the invocation prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagvat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So the verse goes like this. Jitasano Jita Swasa Pratyarita Shad Indriya Hari Bhavanaya Dvasta Rajasattva Tamo Malaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who has controlled the sitting postures, the yogasanas, and the breathing process can turn the senses towards the absolute personality of Godhead and thus become immune to the contaminations of the modes of material nature, namely mundane goodness, passion, and ignorance. Purport. The preliminary activities of the way of yoga are asana, pranayama, pratyahar, dhyana, dharana, etc. There's also yama, niyama, like that. Maharaj Dhritarashtra was to attain success in those preliminary actions because he was seated in a sanctified place and was concentrating upon one objective, namely the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari. Thus, all his senses were being engaged in the service of the Lord. This process directly helps the devotee to get freedom from the contaminations of the three material modes of nature. Even the highest mode, the material mode of goodness, is also a cause of material bondage. And what to speak of the other qualities, namely passion and ignorance? Passion and ignorance increase the material propensities of hankering for material enjoyment, and a strong sense of lust provokes the accumulation of wealth and power. One who has conquered these two base mentalities and has raised himself to the platform of goodness, which is full of knowledge and morality, cannot also control the senses, namely the eyes, the tongue, the nose, the ear, and touch. But one who has surrendered himself unto the lotus feet of Lord Hari, as above mentioned, can transcend all influences of the modes of material nature and be fixed in the service of the Lord. The Bhakti Yoga process, therefore, directly applies the senses to the loving service of the Lord. This prohibits the performer from engaging in material activities. This process of turning the senses from material attachment to the loving transcendental service of the Lord is called pratyahar, and the very process is called pranayam, ultimately ending in samadhi or absorption in pleasing the Supreme Lord Hari by all means. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Yuto Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Candramauli Swami Niti Namini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you all so much for joining the class today. Tomorrow is Radhashtami here in India. I don't know what day it will be for you, but apart from this particular verse, I'll just speak a little bit about Radhashtami because it is such an important day for us to understand and try to celebrate in a nice way. Radharani is our eternal divine mother and the bestower of pure devotion. It is only by her mercy that we can attain pure devotion to Krishna. So here Maharaj Dhritarashtra, having gone to the forest, giving up all his opulent surroundings, which didn't belong to him, it was Yudhishthira's palace now, but still he was living in a very palatial surroundings with servants, with food, with drink, with nice beddings and nice furniture and nice surroundings and nice ambience and all the pomp and pageantry that goes with a palace, you know. all the beautiful things that are there in stately mansions and homes of the aristocratic class of people, the kingly, the royal order, befitting that wherever he went, everybody would immediately offer obeisances and offer salutes because he was the king until he was defeated. So people had respect for his position. And after Vidur told him, "What are you doing? Get out. Focus your mind on the Lord. Time is coming when you have to give up the body." Immediately understanding his precarious position and taking those words to heart, he finally left home. And now he's very serious. He's going for one reason and one reason only, to purify his existence. He has made so many offenses. He has done so many aparads. He has committed so many sinful deeds, even to the point of trying to kill the Pandavas. And now he's trying to focus on the Lord. But the Lord is so merciful that at any stage and at any point in life and in whatever contaminated, sinful condition we turn to him, he accepts that. So therefore, Dhritarashtra now gathered himself, decided to be very, very austere, just live on whatever the forest would provide. In this case, he was only drinking water and trying to focus on all his senses on the Supreme Lord Hari. So he did not allow his senses to stray anywhere else. This is very important to understand, because he understood the goal of life is Ante Narayana Smriti. Remember Krishna at the time of death, so that you can go back to the spiritual world and not get pulled back again to the material world. Remember, if we have any material attachments, any material desires, any material entanglements, any material attraction, back again we will come over here. Srila Prabhupada would say, if you have even a pinch of material desire, you'll take birth again. So Dhritarashtra, knowing that all too well, knew this is his last chance. This is it. I have to do this. Otherwise, my future is very dark, because I have made so many offenses. I will get reactions to all of that, and possibly a very bad situation also. So it was actually a total desperation. So he knew it is now or never. I have to do this. And that is how he completely withdrew his senses from all external objects and focused on Lord Hari, Krishna. And this is what helps one. This is the actual way to overcome the pull of the material modes of nature. You see, having come to this material world, we are constantly subjected because of our senses. Our senses are constantly being attracted to this, that, and the other. The eyes are always trying, oh, very beautiful girl. I think I want to enjoy her. If it's a boy, girl becomes very attractive. If it's a girl, man becomes very attractive. Oh, what a handsome man. Oh, wow, look at his physique. Oh, wow, look at the way he's wearing that nice dhoti. I think I'd like to have somebody like that. Immediately, this deep attraction between man and woman keeps us entangled in this material world. And from this, everything else comes. Janasya moho yam mameti. Ghar, dwar, bacche, baal, bacche, biwi, all the things follow. From one thing, everything else follows. So therefore, even the people who are trying to control their senses, whether they like it or not, they are drawn to the objects of the senses. Nice fragrance, nice sights. That's why people go from place to place, looking for something new, because the senses are always thirsting for something. Eyes want to see something new. Ears want to hear some new music or new sounds or new drama. We want to wear all different kinds of clothes and try on this particular dress and that particular style and this particular hairstyle, and a whole industry, cosmetic industry, the beauty industry, billions of dollars. It's a big industry, plastic surgery, whatnot is going on. So eyes, ears, nose, tongue. Oh my goodness, how many different types of tastes are there, and how people are madly looking for newer and newer tastes. They will travel for miles to go and taste some new dish that they have heard of, that they have seen advertised somewhere. They will travel for miles just to go and taste that thing because the taste buds want something new. Like this, newer and newer partners, newer and newer jobs, newer and newer locations, newer and newer hairstyle, wardrobe, this thing, all these things go on, and they are entangling all of us since time immemorial in this chakkar, in this cycle of repeated birth and death, repeated birth and death. But one who comes to devotional service is very fortunate, because this is the one loophole through which he can get out of the entanglement. Otherwise, we are like puppets on a string. Sometimes the mode of goodness prevails, sometimes the mode of passion is there, sometimes the mode of ignorance is there. And this goes on and on and on, causing action and then reaction, action and then reaction. Actually, mode of goodness, in that mode, at least activities are pure and pious. So at least one will not degrade oneself. One will go to higher planets. But the mode of passion will keep us right here on the same plane. And the mode of ignorance will actually degrade us to lower life forms and bring us even into an animal form. So these are very dangerous modes to be in. Even the mode of goodness. Why? Because we will get the mode of goodness actually is very conducive to feeling a sense of happiness, to feeling a sense of knowledge, because one is wiser than most people, one has some, material knowledge, and so one is placed in the higher echelons of society, so to speak, the scientist, the philosopher, the academician, the teacher. All these people are considered very intelligent class of people, and they are mainly, many of them, in the mode of goodness. And so they take birth again and again because this is very conducive to making you feel very self-satisfied with the situation. So you take birth again and again like that. Scientists, philosophers, these people, they have this tendency towards the mode of goodness. And so they will take birth again and again in that particular way. Passion will provoke a strong sense of hankering. One has very strong desires. I must have that new job. I must have that new car. I must have that new girl. I must have that new vacation. And it makes one work very, very hard in order to achieve that. Fruitive activity, it is called. And it comes from a strong sense of lust and greed and hankering. One is very eager to taste that particular rasa, that particular variety of material enjoyment. And one is forced to work very hard in order to achieve that. Ignorance is the worst, because ignorance will push one down to madness and delusion. It is not even human level, it is animalistic level of functioning. So we must try to rise above these modes. But this is not possible by simply, austerity or penances or mental speculation. For we can see what happened to Vishwamitra Muni. He was engaged in severe penances for 60,000 years. But still, when Menaka came, very beautiful Apsara, very beautiful, so enchanting. And then she began softly, dancing and swaying. And then the sound of her ankle bells and her bangles broke his meditation. And the moment he saw her, after opening his eyes, there was only one thought: I want to enjoy her. He forgot all his penances. He forgot all the aim of his penances. All he wanted to do was enjoy her. And that's what he did. And that's how Shakuntala was born. And after which Menaka left him promptly, went back to the heavenly planets, because this was Indra's plan. And here he was, saddled with a baby now to bring up in the forest, Shakuntala. That's another story. But we can see how Haridas Thakur behaved under similar situation. Haridas Thakur is a devotee of the Lord, pure devotee. He is Brahma Haridas. So in this particular Leela, he came, Brahma ji requested the Lord, saying, I had become so proud during that Brahma Vimohan Leela. He begged the Lord that in your next pastime, please let me come as a very lowly servant of yours, so that I completely lose any pride I may have. So the Lord granted his desire, and allowed him to take birth in a Mohammedan family, Muslim family. But he's a great devotee of the Lord. So that became very obvious. And even the Muslims were very angry with Haridas Thakur for taking up what they said was Hindu culture. But Haridas Thakur said, even if you cut my body into 100 pieces, each of those 100 pieces will be chanting Hare Krishna. I will not give up my chanting. So this way, Brahma took birth as Haridas Thakur. And because of Haridas Thakur's purity, Ramchandra Khan became very envious. And he arranged for a prostitute to come and break his chastity, to break his purity, and then slander him and blaspheme him after making sure he fell down. So what did Haridas Thakur do? He was actually going to leave the village. He came to know through his own, siddhis, powerful mystic powers, what is going to happen. So he was actually going to go away. But then he thought, why not I try to deliver this poor prostitute? She is just a pawn in this man's hands. So let me try. So out of his great compassion and mercy for this fallen woman, he agreed to stay on for a few days and go through all that charade of, yes, I will enjoy with you. Because she came over there to tempt him actually. She said, oh, you're such a handsome young Brahmana. I think I want to enjoy with you. And then, being the gentleman that Haridas Thakur was, he said, yes, I will fulfill all your desires. Please just wait for some time. You may sit over here. Let me finish my chanting, and then surely I will enjoy with you. And he goes on chanting till past midnight, till early morning. Finally, she gets up and leaves. He says, oh, my dear lady, I'm so sorry I disappointed you. Please come again. And so again, she comes. Actually, this was Ramchandra Khan's plan, but she comes again. Again, the same thing happens. He says, I'm so sorry, my dear lady. I will surely fulfill your desires, but first let me finish chanting my rounds. Same thing. Whole night chanting goes on with Tulsi Devi over there. And by the third night, the prostitute has a complete change of heart. Why? Because she is in touch with the pure devotee. She cannot maintain that contaminated state anymore because he has purified her. Now she falls down at his feet and she begs for his mercy. And she says, I want to give up all my sinful ways and I want to take up this process of devotional service. And Haridas Thakur immediately forgives her. He says, yes, I already knew everything. I was going to leave the village, but I just stayed in order to deliver you. And this prostitute, he told her, now you stay here and you sit and chant in front of the Tulsi plant. There was a Tulsi plant right there in his courtyard. And she became such a great devotee that just like him, she would chant 3 lakh names every day. This place is there in Bangladesh, Binapol. It's very close to Mayapur actually. It's just across the border. All my Bangladeshi friends tell me, oh, we just crossed the border and Binapol is there. I said, please take me. I want to see the place. Someday I want to go and offer my obeisances to that wonderful place where Haridas Thakur delivered that lady. So the devotee understands the temporal nature, the temporary nature of all these material blandishments, enjoyment. This is all temporary. It's going to come to an end. And then what are we going to do? Run behind the next thing? Next thing? How long we have done this? So devotee understands, I don't want to be donkey with a carrot and stick anymore. I'm sick and tired of this. I want something better. And that better means I want Krishna. Param drishtva nivartante. I want the higher taste. I want to regain my position as loving servitor of Krishna, because in devotional service, we understand that Krishna's happiness is our happiness. Actually, this we experience here also. When we make someone happy, we become happy. By ourselves, we cannot be happy. It is only in relationships that we can be happy. Parents experience this all the time, right? When we become parents, what interest we have in Diwali, crackers, this thing. But when our children are playing with the firecrackers and jumping up and down and screaming and shouting in glee, we start giggling and laughing and thinking, oh, look at these kids. They're so happy. They're having so much fun. I'm so happy to see them happy. Isn't it? Similarly, when any of our loved ones become happy, we become happy because we are more moved by seeing them happy. So just imagine if we feel so much happiness just in a simple little earthly relationship like this, how much happiness is there when we try to make Krishna happy? Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And that is actually why he has made us. He wanted to enjoy. That's why he made so many, because he wants to enjoy unlimitedly. So this is the highest form of enjoyment, is to give enjoyment to Krishna. So the man of intelligence goes for that. Yehi samsparsha ja bhoga. Man of intelligence does not take part in the sources of misery which are due to contact with the material objects and the material senses. Instead, he goes for permanent happiness, which is found only on the spiritual platform. And how is that possible? One who has surrendered himself unto the lotus feet of Lord Hari. Only he can give up this desire to lord it over material nature and try to enjoy material nature as though he is Lord and Master. No, devotee understands, I am not the Lord and Master. Krishna is the Lord and Master. I am not the enjoyer. Krishna is the enjoyer. I am not the proprietor of anything. Krishna is the proprietor of everything. And who am I? I'm simply a tiny little servant of Krishna, and I'm only meant to facilitate his enjoyment in all ways. And when I do that nicely and Krishna becomes happy, then I become happy. Happiness is actually a byproduct. We don't look for the happiness, because if we go chasing after happiness, happiness eludes us. But if we serve Krishna very nicely and Krishna becomes happy, then we become happy. So devotee understands this all too well, because he has seen the futility of trying to enjoy the material world. He's sick and tired of it. He's jaded by all this stuff, and he says, no, not anymore. So who can call out very feelingly to Krishna? One who is materially exhausted. One who has no more apeksha. Apeksha means anticipation of any kind of enjoyment in the material energy. Only he can call out very feelingly, hey Govinda. And Kunti Maharani says this. One who is still trying to improve himself in a material way. Let's look at that verse. It is verse 1:826. And I will take you there because it's such a beautiful verse, where Kunti Maharani says, oh my dear Lord, you're easily approached, but only by one who is materially exhausted, one who is still trying to improve himself by bodily luster, high parentage, that means good family, trying to get birth in a good family, bodily luster, that means trying to improve his beauty or trying to improve his financial position. Such a person, he cannot call out feelingly to you, because he's still trying to enjoy himself through the spiritual, material energy. Therefore, he cannot call out very Janmaishwarya Shrutashri Bhir Edamana Madapuman Naivarhatyadvitatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. My dear Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. This is a very beautiful purport. Kunti Maharani is describing how only one who is materially exhausted can call out to Krishna very feelingly. Being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocratic family and possessing great wealth and education and attractive personal beauty. All materialistic men are mad after possessing all these material opulences. And this is known as advancement of material civilization. But what is the result? By possessing all these material assets, one becomes artificially puffed up, intoxicated by such temporary possessions. Consequently, such materially puffed up persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord by addressing him feelingly, O Govinda, O Krishna. It is said in the Shastras that by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of a quantity of sins that he is unable to even commit. Such is the power of uttering the holy name of the Lord. There is not the least exaggeration in this statement. Actually, the Lord's name has such powerful potency, but there's a quality to such utterances also. It depends on the quality of feeling. A helpless man can feelingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas a man who utters the same holy name in great material satisfaction cannot be so sincere. So therefore, the four principles of material advancement, namely high parentage, good wealth, high education, attractive beauty, are disqualifications for progress on the path of spiritual advancement. So if we have a very high fever, we are very puffed up because of all these things, then what is happening to us? We are in a diseased, unhealthy state of mind and consciousness. We have to decrease this fever and not aggravate it. So it is said over here, sometimes spiritually advanced persons become materially impoverished. This is no discouragement. On the other hand, such impoverishment is a good sign, as much as the falling of temperature is a good sign. The principle of life should be to decrease the degree of material intoxication that leads one to be more and more illusioned about the aim of life. Grossly illusioned persons are quite unfit for entrance into the kingdom of God. See how nicely Kunti Devi is describing the condition of those who are still trying and trying and trying in this material world to squeeze out some enjoyment, some enjoyment, some enjoyment. It's like that sugar cane, it has already gone through 3 times through the machine. There's nothing left, but still you try to push it through one more time. Maybe little drops will come out. Like Prahlad Maharaj said, chewing the chewed. Punah charvat charvananam. Again and again, chewing the chewed, again and again, trying to get some juice out of it. So like this we have done in many lifetimes. Many lifetimes have gone like this. Finally, in this lifetime, somehow we have received great good fortune in the form of the lotus feet of the spiritual master. We can actually get out of the net that we have been entangled in for so long by taking to this process of bhakti yoga and become more and more and more absorbed in thoughts of Lord Hari. Shravana Kirtana Smarana Vandana Pada Sevana Dasari Pujana Sakhi Jana Atmani Vedana Govinda Dasa Bhilasari Bhajahure Mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charana Ravindari. So Govinda Das is singing this song. The only safe place is shelter at your lotus feet, which grant complete fearlessness. I have no anxiety over here at your lotus feet, my dear Lord. And so please let me get absorbed in the 9 processes of devotional service and come back to you. This is the only way, this is the only means to be able to control the mind and senses by bringing them into loving connection with the Supreme Lord in service. And this is the only way which is natural, because this is our nature. It is our soul's nature to offer loving service to Krishna. Artificially, we try to repress, like the yogis and the meditators and the mental speculators and the impersonalists, they force themselves. I will meditate, I will meditate, I will meditate, I will meditate. And one eye is open and they're looking here and there. And then they fall down. Same way with the impersonalists, they negate everything. No, I don't want enjoyment. I don't want enjoyment. I don't want any enjoyment. I will withdraw myself. But then what happens? They become very cold-hearted, stone-hearted, and any little agitation of the senses again pulls them down to fall down. So they can even reach very high level of Brahmajyoti, but because there is no enjoyment, there is no ananda, there is no sweetness of loving exchanges, again they fall down into the material whirlpool. So see how lucky we are. We have come to Krishna consciousness, and this is the best way to engage all our senses very nicely in service to the Lord. And anyone who says, oh, in Krishna consciousness, you Hare Krishna, so much restriction, no enjoyment. We say we have the best sense gratification. We have the best enjoyment. What more you want? Come over here and see. Look at our prasadam. Come to a festival and there are 250,000 dishes. Variety of tastes are there for the tongue. Eyes can see the beautiful form of the Lord. Every day, ever new, a new outfit, new jewelry, new alankar. Every day, Shringar Arti, Darshan Arti, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj described it as a festival for the eyes. Darshan Arti is festival for the eyes. The festival for the ears is this Harinam Sankirtan. What can be sweeter than this? Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Madhuram madhurebhyopi, mangalebhyopi mangalam, pavanam pavanebhyopi, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. The holy name is an ocean of happiness, transcendental joy, the sweetest sound that one can ever have or hear. So there's a festival for the eyes, there's a feast for the ears, there's a festival and a feast for the tongue. And greatest enjoyment is to be with devotees and hug one another. Lord Chaitanya said to Haridas Thakur, just touching your body purifies me. Imagine that. Lord is saying to Haridas Thakur. So touching the bodies of devotees by hugging them is very purifying. Touch, taste, tongue, what else? Smell. So many wonderful varieties of flowers are offered to the Lord. So many fragrances. Champak, lily, water lily, lotuses, roses, chameli, juhi. So many beautiful fragrant flowers are there. Gardenias, magnolias. Such wonderful fragrances are there. So in all ways, Krishna consciousness is full of enjoyment. Who says there is no enjoyment? We have the best enjoyment. So therefore, devotees are very happy in Krishna consciousness. They lack nothing. We lack nothing. In fact, it only gets better and better, isn't it? So we become more and more and more absorbed, and we can start enjoying nectar even when in this material body. It doesn't mean we have to die and go back to the spiritual world, then only we will enjoy. No, even now. Why? How? Sorry. By getting out of the clutches of these three modes of material nature and getting more and more situated in our natural, joyful position of loving servitorship, we can start tasting nectar even within this material body. And I'm not making up stuff. I'll show you a verse that Srila Prabhupada explains that. Let's go to this verse. This is 14:20. Sorry, 14:6. No, I wanted 14:20 actually. This is not the verse I want. Let me change that to 14:20 because that will give you the clue. Gunan etan atityatrin dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkha vimukto mritam ashnute. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. Just see that. See what Prabhupada is telling us. Purport. How one can stay in the transcendental position, even in this body, in full Krishna consciousness, is explained in this verse. The Sanskrit word dehi means embodied. Although one is within this material body, by his advancement in spiritual knowledge, he can be free from the influence of the modes of nature. He can enjoy the happiness of spiritual life even in this body, because after leaving this body, he is certainly going to the spiritual sky. But even in this body, he can enjoy spiritual happiness. In other words, devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the sign of liberation from material entanglement. This will be explained in the 18th chapter. When one is freed from the influence of the modes of material nature, he enters into devotional service. So all of you are very, very lucky. You have entered into devotional service and you have come to Krishna consciousness. You are all liberated souls, and there's only more and more and more spiritual happiness waiting for you. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for listening so patiently. We will open up for questions, comments, criticisms, corrections, whatever you like. And maybe I'll say a few words about Radharani. Yeah, let's do that, because tomorrow is Radharani's appearance day. So I want to just explain about how Radharani took birth. This is from this beautiful book, Radharani by Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj. I'll just read this description, one very short paragraph. Once King Rishabhanu was immersed in the waters of the Yamuna, meditating upon the Lord. Suddenly, a 1,000-petal lotus flower came floating towards him and touched his body. When he opened his eyes, he saw the most beautiful, molten gold-colored girl lying on the lotus and moving her hands and legs. As the king had no child, he was very happy to receive this girl. However, she was blind. She did not open her eyes. He brought her to his palace and gave her to his wife Kirtida, who was very happy to receive the girl. Thus, Srimati Radharani appeared in the earthly home of her eternal parents, Kirtida Sundari and Maharaj Rishabhanu. Now, the story goes that Mother Yashoda, learning that her friend Kirtida had gotten a baby girl, came with baby Krishna and Nanda Maharaj to visit them. And little baby Krishna crawled up to the cradle of Radharani and peeked over to look inside the cradle. When she knew that Krishna has come, the little baby eyelids fluttered open and she looked at Krishna and smiled. She didn't want to look at anything or anyone until she saw Krishna. And the parents were overjoyed at this miracle. Suddenly their baby could see. Of course, Narad Muni knew the whole story, so he was laughing. And that is how Radharani came in the form of a beautiful baby girl to her eternal parents, Kirtida and Rishabhanu Maharaj. There are many more pastimes about Radharani, but now we have few minutes for questions and answers. If there is time, we can read some more about Radharani. But if not, we can take questions and answers, whatever Krishna allows, whatever Radharani allows. She is the boss. She even bosses Krishna. There's a beautiful song about Radharani getting angry with Krishna. रूठी हुई यू न मानेगी चलिया, राधा के चरणों में रख दो मुरलिया, बात बन जाएगी। हाय हले रे राधा ना बोले ना बोले ना बोले रे, ना बोले ना बोले ना बोले रे, घूंघट के पटे ना खोले रे, राधा ना बोले ना बोले ना बोले रे. The meaning of this song, which is Hindi, is she's very angry, she's very upset, she's not going to talk to you, Krishna. So you quietly go and put your flute at her lotus feet and she will be moved and she will forgive you. So this all goes on in the spiritual world. Rutna, Manana, pacifying her, consoling her. So Krishna is subordinate to Radharani. In the spiritual world, she is the boss. Therefore, in Vrindavan, everyone says Jai Radhe, because it is only by pleasing Radharani that we can get Krishna. There's a song also in this connection. Jab Radharani Khushi Habe. What is that? Indradyumna Maharaj sings that song. Then your life will be successful. There's one Bengali song, but I forget exactly how it goes. It's not coming to my mind. Anyway, yeah, so before I go on and on singing and not allow you to talk, I'll stop here and we can open up for questions. And it would be nice to have everyone's camera on so we can all see each other, wish each other happy Radhashtami. And remember, we are all part of Krishna and Radharani's family eternally, which means we are all brothers and sisters. We are in this together. Raj Prabhu, please go ahead. Our poet, laureate.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to Haridas Thakur. All glories to Srimati Radharani. All glories to your wonderful class.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Raj Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Radharani. All glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to the devotees. Haribol. Happy Radhashtami.
So we are told that we need to please Radharani. We need to get her mercy before we can approach Krishna. How do we please her? How do we get her mercy?
Very nice question. Very nice question. So Srila Prabhupada explains that to get Krishna's mercy, we have to get Radharani's mercy. To get Radharani's mercy, we have to get Lord Chaitanya's mercy. To get Lord Chaitanya's mercy, we have to first get Lord Nityananda's mercy. And to get Lord Nityananda's mercy, we have to get our Gurudev's mercy. That means pleasing the spiritual master. When we please the spiritual master becomes very pleased by our tiny little efforts to please him, then everyone becomes pleased. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya prasada nagati kutopi, dhyayan stuvam stasya yashastri sandhyam, vande guru shri charanaravindam, vande guru shri charanaravindam, vande guru shri charanaravindam. We sing that, right? In Gurvashtakam, when we please the spiritual master, then Krishna is pleased. Without pleasing the spiritual master, no chance of any progress of any kind. So that's our key. That's the secret to success. Pleasing the spiritual master. Thank you. Nice question.
Thank you.
I can almost see Janaki Nath smiling down on us, with Radharani. I picture him as a gopi. He had a very sweet feminine energy to him. Very sweet feminine energy. He was so sweet that everybody was very comfortable. Nobody felt, any kind of awkwardness around him. He was so warm, so kind, so sweet, so friendly. So to me, he had this gopi mood, gopi bhava. So I always think he went back and he's now one of the gopis with Radharani and he's smiling down on us.
Let's hope. Hare Krishna, Sridevi.
Hare Krishna, Kirti Mataji, my humble obeisances to you. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev, all glories to Radharani.
All glories to you. All
Gurudev.
glories to Radharani and all glories to Gurudev. Thank you for the lovely lecture. It was really nice. It was so lovely.
Thank you, Tirtha Kirti. You're always so kind and so encouraging. I'm very grateful that you're always in a very positive, loving mood towards me, even though I'm quite a foolish person and make many mistakes. Still, you're always very kind and encouraging. Thank you for that.
Oh, if I could do anything, I would be happy, but I cannot do nothing. So I'm all fallen away and nothing can do properly. And anyhow, I'm happy to be with you.
Harry Bol, me too. I also can't do anything. I'm also fumbling and falling over here. I'm like a baby kitten with its eyes tightly closed. I need the stick of mercy of the Vaishnavas. Vaishnava Thakura, Dayara Sagara, Edase Karuna Kori, Edase Karuna Kori. So this Vaishnav begs for the mercy of other Vaishnavas.
Yeah, you get the mercy. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate
And
it.
you said the best thing is to please Gurudev.
Yes. Yes.
Can you tell me
definitely.
how I can do that? I would like to please my Gurudev.
Yes. Yes. The position of the pure devotee is beautifully described in this wonderful bhajan. Oh, hey, Vaishnav Thakur. Dayara Sagara. You're an ocean of daya, compassion. Please have mercy on your servant. Eda se karuna kori. Diya pada chaya sodoya maya. Please help me get rid of these 6 enemies: lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, envy. Give me the shade of your lotus feet and give me the 6 kinds of holy association. Diya pada chaya sodoya maya. Chaya guna deho dase. Tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya. Deho Krishna Nama Dhane. With one drop of mercy, O Vaishnav Thakur, please give me faith in the holy name. Ekaki amara nahi paya bala harinam sankirtane. Tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya. Deho Krishna Nama Dhane. Deho Krishna Nama Dhane. Give me the wealth of the holy name. With one drop of your mercy, my dear spiritual master, you can bestow this great wealth upon me. I'm just a wretch running behind you crying, Krishna, Krishna. Amito Kangal, Krishna, Krishna boli, Dhaitava pache, pache. Oh, he Vaishnava Thakura, Dayara Sagara. Edase karuna kori. Edase karuna kori. These Vaishnava bhajans are very powerful prayers actually. They're full of deep meaning because they're coming from the hearts of pure devotees who have composed these songs. They're very powerful in attracting our hearts to bhakti. So by singing these songs, we actually enhance our own bhakti.
That is nice. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tomorrow is Radharani's appearance day. So somehow I'm feeling very much in the mood of singing because Radharani is singing all the time, you know.
It's nice. I like to listen to you singing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I don't see any other raised hands or any other. Okay, Revati Mataji, you want to say something?
Mataji, thank you so much for the very, very beautiful class. Really, you sing very nicely, very beautifully. I like that past time you said like Radharani. So So even I heard that pastime. So I don't know much of these stories, but yeah, she couldn't open her eyes. So mother was very much worried, and only when Krishna came, she opened eyes. That was very beautiful. Yeah. And Lord Brahma is Haridas Thakura. That also I learned today. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. He, after that Brahma Vimohan Leela, he became so embarrassed at what a big gaffe he had made, offense to the Supreme Lord, that he begged Krishna that in your next Leela, please let me take birth in a very humble, very lowly way, so that I never become infatuated with pride. So therefore Krishna granted that desire and made him Haridas Thakur.
Nice, Mataji. That I learned today that. So thank you. All the beautiful verses which you gave us that, it's so important for us to get out of these modes. Yeah.
Yes, very important. Remember this, Revati, that if we want to get situated in genuine spiritual happiness, we have to work to get out of the entanglement of the modes, and that comes from chanting the holy name with great attention and devotion, and carefully following the instructions of the spiritual master. Slowly, we will find that these things will affect us less and less, and we will become more and more situated in loving service to Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. So, Mataji, are we like qualified to pray directly to Srimati Radharani, or we should only pray to our Guru Maharaj, spiritual master?
No, prayers can be made to any of the deities. If there is Balaram Purnima, we pray to Balaram. If Radha Ashtami, we pray to Radharani. If it's Nityananda Trayodashi, we pray to Lord Nityananda. There's no bar. And it's not only on these days, you can pray any day. We are encouraged to pray to Krishna, to Radha, to Lord Nityananda, to Lord Chaitanya, to all the deities, to all the acharyas. We can pray to any of the great souls. There is no bar, there is no time limit, there is no special situation. You can pray all day long if you want, any time of the day or night if you want. So certainly we can pray to Radharani. In fact, we must pray to Radharani because she is our eternal mother. And it's only by her mercy that we can make any advancement in Krishna consciousness. They say that Guru Tattva comes from Radharani or from Nityananda, Lord Balaram. So Lord Balaram or Radharani, both of them are considered Guru Tattva because they teach devotional service.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. And the book you mentioned, Mataji, is it available as a PDF version on Google?
I don't know. I can show it to you. This is a very beautifully, illustrated painting by Annapurna Devi Mataji. She's Prabhupada disciple. That's on the cover. But the book is written by Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj. The Glories of Srimati Radharani. That's the name. Yeah. The Glories and Pastimes of Srimati Radharani by Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj.
Okay. I'll search
Yeah.
PDF so we can read it. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So if we don't have any more questions, comments, or any corrections, we can stop the class here and go on to whatever else we need to do. And I can wish everybody. Huh?
Oh, Sridevi, can you please tell once more where I can get the book? What's the name of this?
Yeah, sure. The Glories and Pastimes of Srimati Radharani by Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj.
Oh, thank you very much.
And it is available in the Sankirtan bookstall just outside the Panchatattva courtyard. You know the Sankirtan bookstore?
Yes.
I just bought it today.
Okay. Then we go there.
Thank you very much for today.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
So wishing you all a wonderful Radhashtami. May Radharani shower you with lots and lots and lots of mercy.
Yes. And she shows me lot of love to you.
Hari bol. Thank you, Tita Kirti. I need the blessings. Please shower me with blessings. I need all of them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Sridevi. Sai bol.
Hari bol. Hari bol. Thank you all for coming. Revati, Prema Bhakti Prabhu, Balaji Prabhu, Tita Kirti. I will stop the recording as well as pause the end the class for now. Is that all right?
Mataji.
There you go. Prema Bhakti yaha hoite avidya vinashrayati. See, we want Prema Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. Give us some Prema Bhakti.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Beautiful. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I will end the class now.